Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to the farm. Hey, look at that. It is winter time. It is about 1,000,000 degrees below zero right now. It's actually not. It's only about minus 16. But it's enough. You see the old kitchen gardens are growing quite a bit of frost. You can make snow cones later on. That's exciting. What's not exciting, however, and what's not very cold right now is our stand-up freezer. So Carmen showed me a TikTok last night about, I don't know, what was it? Bacon and eggs on toast or something that you make in the air fryer, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So I ran down to the deep freeze last night and grabbed a pack of bacon out of there. I noticed when I closed the door that it didn't suck shut like it usually does. But I never give it much credence. Anyways, this morning I got up. We didn't have any bread, so I went down to the freezer to go get some frozen bread out of the freezer. Needless to say, the bread wasn't frozen. And neither was all the food that was in the freezer. It was kind of like borderline, so I think most of it we'll be able to salvage. And this big 15 cubic foot stand-up freezer, totally full. So that was fantastic. They're about $1,100-1,200 that the guy didn't really need to lose. But anyways, that is what we're presented with this morning. So we're going to take the girls to town. We're going to take them to the ski hill. So we're going to quickly dive into Costco on the way to the ski hill and see if they got any stand-up freezers there. And in the interim, we just strength of our backs, just muscled that full freezer out of the basement, out the front patio door. And I'm glad we put those patio door, like it's a French door I should say, in the front of the house so we get stuff in and out. We just muscled it out and like, well, it's minus 16 outside, just leave it outside. I mean, nature's freezer, right? So anyways, that's what we're working with this morning. I got to get the old sheeps fed because, I mean, even though they got their winter coats on, they're probably not digging the atmosphere right now. It's a little chilly this morning, isn't it, girls? Yeah. I tell you, we're almost at the threshold where it really just sucks too much to fork this hay off. Mostly because the fork handle is so gosh darn cold on a guy's hands. But the other thing that's the real challenge is because there was so little grass growth this year. You know, these guys that baled up this hay, they got to go, you know, almost the full length of a quarter section to get a bale. So you can't just go around to get the full side of a bale. You know, you just get a wisp of hay and it just strings around. So to get a fork full of hay, I got to go around this bale probably, well, almost 3 times, and I'm just getting strands here and there. And that's why when it gets to 20 below, which we're real close, give it a couple days, we'll be there. It almost makes it worthwhile to just take the big tractor and throw this thing out in the field, because I mean, I'm not a one for wasting feed, not at all, especially not in a year like this where feed's hard to come by. But I'm also not one for fruitless endeavors either. Anyways, it's looking like midweek next week we're going to be minus 32 here, and towards the end of the week we're going to see minus 38. And that was kind of the end of the forecast that I seen. I'm really hoping that doesn't get across the minus 40 threshold, because then things start to break. Things, you know, even in insulated buildings start to freeze. You know, it's hard on the animals. You got to feed a pile of grain to keep everybody warm. I'll probably have to open up the barn is what I'll have to do. Let them in the barn and keep them a little toasty. Well, it looks like I got a good old-fashioned sheep farmer problem. So I just fork some hay into the feeders here, just a little bit, and then I dump some grain in. And of course, one of them's inside the feeder, but like in this catchment tray that I got beneath. And the catchment tray is meant so that nothing gets wasted. Of course, now I got grain in here and the sheep stuck. Come on out. There we go. Out you go. Whew. Now, it's important. You gotta get them out. I've come, I don't know how many times, but they've been stuck in a feeder like that, and they've been in there for a few hours. They have a real tough time recovering from that. So I don't know what the answer is for feeders. If they get their feet hung up in there, they get their heads hung up in there, they get the whole goddamn body hung up in there. It's a real challenge with sheep. I don't know what the solution is, but I certainly haven't found it yet. I thought those little feeders were kind of the answer, but even the answer is not without problems. Well, I'm just going to take a bucket of grain over to the chickens here and get them all fed up, and that'll be morning chores taken care of. And then we got to head to town, take the girls to their skiing lessons, which is going to be, I don't know, but we're going to take the Yukon, because then you can put all your winter gear and stuff in the back. But Now with this freezer shit in the bed, I gotta take the truck so that I can buy a new freezer and bring it home. Hopefully they have a freezer, because if they don't have a freezer, then I'm gonna take the truck. The girls are gonna freeze getting changed outside, and we won't come home with a freezer. But we'll do what we can. We're outside the Costco. Kids are inside eating a hot dog or a chicken finger or something like that. I got the big old, it's a fridge freezer combo is what we got. So we can turn it to either one. In the box, the truck, it was $800 or something like that. $800 they probably didn't want to spend immediately after Christmas. But again, that's the cards we're dealt. Speaking of cards we're dealt, the weather has gone completely sideways. It's now snowing quite heavy and the wind has picked up. So skiing, not gonna go skiing. We're gonna run over to that, I don't know, they got some like play place for the kids or whatever. We'll run over there and entertain them for a couple hours before we head home. All right, so I'm back home. I brought Finn home. Carm stayed in town with Charlotte because they're gonna go jump on trampolines and stuff. Finn passed out like 2 minutes after leaving the Costco parking lot, so I'm just gonna come home and get this thing in the house, unpacked, pushed to where it's supposed to be, probably plugged in, so that later this evening we can unpack that freezer, which not a freezer anymore. It now identifies as just a large cupboard, I guess. We'll get that thing unpacked and then back into here. And I thought that one was like about 15 or 16 cubic feet. I'm not sure, but I think this one's like 20, so it's bigger. It's taller, for sure it's taller. Now when I unloaded that one, I unloaded that by hand, myself, and it was quite heavy, but I did it myself. This one here is lighter, but it's larger. So I got this terrible idea. I'm gonna just do the same thing again. I'm just gonna unload it myself and get it into the house, and I'll think about my back later when it hurts. It's funny, it comes with these pictograms here, right? Like this one right here. Like, it's like they know, because that is exactly what I'm about to do. It says I should do this, but I don't think Finley's gonna have her end very well, so we're just gonna do this. Don't worry, ma'am, I'm a professional. I just quickly, after getting the deep freeze in the house, quickly popped over, see the sheep again, and what do you know? Wow, thankfully it was able to evacuate on its own this time. You're an idiot. You're probably not gonna make it till next year. That's one to watch right there. That one will probably end up stuck in the heater 1 minute when I'm not watching, when I'm not paying attention, when I'm not out here 4 times in one day. We'll just have a very sad demise, unfortunately. Anyways, while we were in the Costco, my wife I was sat at the tills actually, and my wife come walking up and she's like, "Oh, I got you a water bottle. Will you use it?" And I said, "Absolutely not. But for starters, it's a half gallon, and I just run perpetually dehydrated. I do that. I probably do need to drink more water." But she's like, "Well, why not?" Well, I'll tell you why not. Like, it's got this little clock on the side. Like, you're supposed to drink so much. Oh, Finn found the piano. The thing doesn't even start until 9 a.m. By 9 a.m., I probably should have drank that whole bottle. Like, my day's half over already. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I tell you, there's more to the day than that.